freedom technique, now adapted by various scientists, Dr. Callahan, Dr. Gary Craig. I trained with called Carl Dawson Academy. So the knowledge has refined and refined for it to become a very simple, easy to use, easy to go, practice anywhere, practice in a car, practice. I mean, you're at work and you're really dealing with, you're really overwhelmed. You know that you could be reactive, you're feeling the anger or the frustration. You could just go in there, 5 minutes, and you can calm yourself and show up better. Okay? So we'll dive into the technique. Let's just go back to the last one. So started in early 1990s, the ancient tapping meets the psychological therapy, the modern version of it, restores body's energy system to reduce distress for many things: anxiety, stress, trauma, emotional regulation, insomnia, procrastination, people who are diagnosed with chronic illnesses, supporting them, augmenting them. So medical patients, medical doctors, and teachers, for students, for everybody. Let's go to the next. So it begins with, let's begin to dive into the technique. Target the emotional issue, focus on specific stress or emotional challenge. So there's a sheet out there, and we may not have the entire time to go through the entire worksheet and do it the way I normally do it in the workshop, but this is the sort of flavor of it. So identify the target emotional issue, and then we will dive into the meridian points I'll teach you. So do you have that already? I'll give you a few minutes to tune into that. To target the emotional issue that you would like to work on, that's one important thing. Then if you think that you can change today, and you could also define what's the goal. So you're feeling, for example, overwhelmed, and you would like to be peaceful, calm, happier, or you're feeling stretched, too much on your plate, whatever you want to define, and then also decide the goal that you want to feel at the end of the session. It could be emotional fatigue, it could be burnout, it could be persistent anxiety, worry, constant mental load, overwhelm, the pressure to be strong. Have we got something to work on? Have we identified what we want to work on today? Okay. So let's dive into the technique now. So it's very simple. There are 8 points. This is called the karate chop point. Everybody, please, if I could have your attention. I don't want you to miss it. I don't want you guys to miss it. Excuse me, everybody, I want your attention, please. Because I'm going to explain this. This is how we'll go forward. So the karate chop point is the side of the palm. Okay, top of the head, the beginning of the eyebrow, the side of the eye, under the nose, under the lower lip, the collarbone point, and the armpit point. Okay, so these are the points. This is one part, knowing the points. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, this is the point. Now the second part is the setup phrase. So after you've identified the issue that you want to work on, so begin tapping with me. Let's experience it right away. Okay, so even though I'm feeling the emotion that you're feeling, just be present to that. You can say that. Even though I'm feeling, for example, I will use the word stress because it's common. Even though I'm feeling the stress, then give it a number. So the intensity of the stress I'm feeling is 7. So I'm feeling this stress, which is 7 on 10 for me right now. I still choose to deeply and completely accept myself. Even though I'm feeling the stress all over my body. So now begin describing the emotion or the sensation, emotional, mental, physical, whatever it is. So even though I'm feeling this stress, 7 on 10 for me, you can do your own number. Now try to see where it's more in the body. Let's say center of the chest. Even though I'm feeling, begin describing it. Even though I'm feeling this stress, 7 on 10, in the center of my chest. I still choose to deeply and completely accept myself, and I choose to heal and integrate this part of me. I choose to heal and integrate this part of me. All this stress, go deeper into your feelings. All this stress, maybe it's in my neck as well. I can feel my shoulders slightly stiff. Choosing to release all of it now. 3 deep breaths. This is the releasing point under the collarbone point. Just let go. All this stress I'm carrying, I know it's not productive for me. It's making me snappy. It's making me irritable. Choosing to let go all of it. Maybe there is some anxiety as well. Breathing out the anxiety. Choosing to feel calm and relaxed. Choosing to heal and integrate this part of me. Choosing to heal and integrate this part of me. Let's give it a number again. We'll keep counting the number as we go forward. Just give it a number. So for example, for me it was 7. Let's say now it's 5. Can you please check your numbers as well? This is round 1. Numbers checked? Okay. So sometimes when you're doing tapping for stress, now I might experience fear. It may change the texture of what I'm feeling. It may, the number may fluctuate drastically. It may go down to 2 straight away or something like that. So whatever remains, you go. So let's say for me it's 5. So even though I'm feeling stress, now I feel it's more anxiety. This deadline that I have, all this anxiety, so much anxiety all over my body. I know it's not helping me. Choosing to let go. Choosing to love myself exactly as I am. Choosing to love myself exactly as I am. Accepting and acknowledging all this anxiety all over my body. I think it's grey in color. This greyish anxiety. I think it got triggered when I had that argument yesterday. All this anxiety that I'm carrying, letting go, choosing to heal and integrate this part of me. Choosing to heal and integrate this part of me. 3 deep breaths. Choosing to feel my body soften, the tension dissolve away. I can still feel there is 2 on 10 anxiety left in my body. This residual 2 on 10 stress and anxiety in my body. Now, I'm just feeling it in my neck. So the place has changed. This 2 on 10 anxiety in my neck, deeply and completely. I accept and acknowledge my feelings. I accept myself. Choosing to heal and release. Choosing to heal and release. 3 deep breaths. Anchoring my healing. Making the result more sustainable, anchoring my healing. Did you experience any reduction in the number? To what? From what you were? Just share the number.
From 9.
Okay. Anybody else would like to share? Any reduction in the number of the original emotion that you were feeling? Okay.
I would like to know how does it actually work?
Sorry?
How does it actually work?
We'll come to that. We'll come to that. I just wanted you to experience it because then now I'll explain, you'll understand it much better. Okay, so for example, nothing moved. So even though it did not move at all for me, I'm still choosing to deeply and completely accept myself and just accept and acknowledge all my feelings. Whatever the feeling that you wrote at the beginning of the session, I just accept it. I acknowledge it. It's my feeling. They're very valid for me. It can't just go away with something small, but we will see. Being open, still accepting and acknowledging my feelings. So when I do workshops, then I do individual attention. I go to each person and go dive deeper into the issues, and we keep tapping. So it works for almost everybody. So I've had a workshop of 250 people, and we had multiple demos called invited many people. So it works for each one of them. So because we are just giving you a flavor of this today. Okay? So women are dealing with emotional labor, family responsibility, social expectation, generational conditions where we are just supposed to be donning on multiple roles and taking on multiple responsibilities, and sometimes we don't have a choice. The result is chronic nervous system activation that becomes the new normal. So we feel so much stress, it's unexpressed emotion, it's unaddressed, unprocessed stress. We're just shoving it under the carpet, take off being functional every day, still showing up for all the roles that we do. It becomes the normal us. For example, I was working with a school teacher, and she said, my entire friend, my entire circle knows me as an anxious person. So it becomes the definition of your personality because you're not dealing with it. We're not creating the space. There are many ways of doing it. EFT is one of them. But what I know is that because I do multiple things, I do inner child work regression, I do CBT, and I do NLP. But I feel EFT is the fastest and the quickest. Okay, and so I'm really excited about sharing this with you. And I'm really hoping that you'll go home and practice some of it yourself and maybe teach family and kids. Okay. What happens in the brain? You were asking me how it works, right? So, the roots are in Chinese medicine. And in Chinese medicine system, there's meridians running throughout our body. What I find, because I'm a doctor as well, I find that it's very similar to the endocrine system that we study in school. It's like hormones, pituitary and all of that. So, what happens is, when you're tapping in these meridian points, these are the end of the meridian points, the energy channels. So prana, energy, chi, vital energy that flows through our body. So meridians are the channels. When a negative emotion is experienced because of some trigger, some environmental trigger, somebody said something or something happened, like for example for me, if I missed a very important text from a patient, it can really stress me that, oh my God, that person needed me and I couldn't show up. So it could be any trigger can be anything for anyone. It could, as a result, make me feel guilty, stressed, curse myself, beat myself up for not being careful or something like that. So whatever the trigger is from my environment can cause a distortion in my energy system. So, it's like a water pipe which is clogged and the water won't go through. So when you start tapping on these points, marvelously, it's been studied enough, I'll share the studies also. So then the pipe unclogs and the water can flow through. Similarly, when we are tapping, the clogged negative emotion, the cloud that we're carrying of something that we trigger, it could be anger, could be frustration, could be irritation. So once that prana and the vital energy is flowing, your situation won't go away, but you will show up differently. So when you are showing up in a more responsive rather than a reactive manner, you can make better choices. For example, if somebody were to tap for food cravings, if you're tapping for food cravings, when the amygdala in the brain, which is the almond-shaped part in the midbrain, which is the seat of the center which feels fear. So when that calms down and the vital energy and the prana is flowing more smoothly, you'll make better choices. You may stick to your discipline better, you may stick to your healthy routines better, you may not go for the chocolate bar. So, when you're really stressed and you make those unhealthy food choices, so things like that. So, the amygdala is calm, you feel calm and you regulate it, and your nervous system is calm, you make better choices, you make better conversation, you smile a lot more. So, the amygdala is the seat for the fight or flight response. Usually, when ancient man, the fear center was fired up because there was a real danger to life, like a tiger showing up. But in our case, the tiger is in the forms of deadlines and commitments and overcommitment and things like social commitments, all of that. So when we're not able to fit in everything, we feel super stressed and cortisol remains elevated, flooding your system, reducing your immunity. Emotional reactivity becomes your default state. So people might know you in your life as irritated, snappy or whatever, and that's because we're not addressing the emotions. Once we begin addressing these emotions every day, And this is so easy to use every day. And I'm really hoping if you have questions, we can ask later as well. But take home and practice. Key insight here is chronic stress becomes wired into neural pathways, creating patterns that feel automatic and unchangeable. It begins to feel unchangeable.
So you have to do it every day, kind of thing?
So you know what, so how I use it in my practice when I'm using it for my client. So you can tap it yourself every day for immediate relief like a headache pill, okay, any physical pain as well. But when I'm working with a client, normally we hold the space and deeper things. For example, if a person is dealing with procrastination, okay, so when we begin tapping for procrastination, a different thing appears and a different thing appears. They may go back into a memory where they decided I'm not good enough to be successful. So you will devise, your subconscious mind will devise multiple ways for you not to be successful. So what you do is, you'll come up with ways and excuses. You will call it procrastination, but the deeper layer is fear of being successful. Something like that.
You do it yourself and you keep thinking what's coming next, and then you keep tapping and tapping. The layers will.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Like, all of a sudden something will come and it's called the aha moment. So you will realize, oh, that is why I'm behaving like that. It just dawns on you like a realization. Oh, that is why I've been doing this.
So it just happens with a period of time, or maybe just for that moment only? Like,
you get deeper and deeper. It's how, for example, if you do Surya Namaskar, you can do maybe 1 or 2 or 5 in a day, but then you build it to 108. It takes a while. It's a muscle, similarly. So you keep practicing it and you will, it's beautifully or deeper and deeper layers can unfold. So, there's so much information out there on the net, but when you're doing it for a client in a dedicated manner for a specific issue, for example, a chronic ailment or something like that, then it's worth experiencing. Like, I can work out myself also and I can work with the trainer as well. So when you work with the trainer, that space is very specific and the results are very specific. But you can get there too, yourself.
but in that case, the example that you gave, even if one knows that it is the fear of being successful, still the fear is there.
Say that again, please.
I said, even if you know now that it is the fear of being successful, the procrastination, but the fear is still there.
So now you tap instead of procrastination, you tap for fear of being successful. So usually a childhood memory appears where somebody said something to you as a child and you understood that from a child's understanding of like a 6-year-old's understanding. And you decided that I'm not good enough and I'm not cut out for success. Like for example, dad says, "Tumse to kuch bhi nahi hota." Or like, "Oh, you have butterfingers." Then you decide, I'm not good enough. And then you're going to keep on projecting from your subconscious mind that decision you took as a child. There are some total of all the experiences that we've had in our life, and that is what shapes our personality, the coping mechanisms, the decisions, the pattern system, the belief system we form. But when you explore, dive deeper, you can use EFT, you can use Reachout, or many different methods, but you go to the core of that origin of that issue, where it started from. It started from somewhere. Whether it's a pain in the body, whether it's a physical issue or emotional issue, it started somewhere. So going into help you means identifying the origin of the problem. The minute you understand the origin, from the understanding of the more resourceful adult visits that child's situation, and you say, oh, that's what happened. And that is where the shift happened. That's the cognitive shift that happened.
Yeah.
So people come back and report to me that, so many things are becoming lighter and easier.
I was just going to support that actually, because I have been using it EFT past 10 to 12 years now, and it really does wonders with CBT. And it's the simplest form which teenagers even pick up very easily.
Yes.
And it also gives a sense of grounding, as an instant relief. So, like when you are facing an overwhelming emotion and you really don't know, and you don't even know how to verbalize it, and you don't have anybody to, help you channelize it. So, it really does wonders in all situations. Like as you said, maybe when you are at work, or maybe when you are home alone, or maybe whenever you are experiencing any kind of overwhelming emotions, it really does wonders.
So I'm really glad you're endorsing that.
Yeah, I have been using it with teenagers, with adults, and myself, my own relatives. It does wonders. It looks very simple,
Yes.
but when you practice it, you will know that it gives wonderful results.
And teach other people, then you're teaching other people, you master it yourself, and just go deeper.
Yeah.
And marvelous things open out every good.
Thank you.
Negative emotion. What's a negative emotion?
A negative emotion is something that's holding you back from achieving your highest potential. Yeah. So thoughts you can just say, even though I'm having this negative thought, I'm choosing to heal and integrate this part of me. So I really want you to test the results. You keep tapping for a few minutes on this, and then you see if that thought is coming back or not. So, I'm going to come to the stats part of it. That's where the stats are. 20 studies, 859 participants. Large effect sizes reduces depressive symptoms. What answers your question is benefits sustained beyond 90 days follow-up. So whatever, for example, if I worked on a feeling of void, that I'm constantly feeling this void, or I'm feeling morning blues, so that specific thing won't come back. Some other texture of some other thing may come up, because of course life is full of a lot of triggers and emotions, and like I said, we are today what we have experienced over a period of time. So what is a negative emotion for me is maybe, I don't know, you can share your take on that with me, what you feel. But for me, negative emotion is what's not letting me go forward.
Actually, there are negative thoughts, and then there are associations we have made with those thoughts with an emotion.
Absolutely.
Emotion is just a river flowing of feelings, and then those associations that thoughts bring with those emotions and how we feel it negative and positive.
I find thoughts are the easier to work with. Emotions, which has almost defining my personality. For example, a depressive personality or a high tension personality who's just like, my shoulders are like this, and or maybe somebody has a body language like that. That's like congealed emotion, heavy long-term stuff. That takes longer to work with. Thoughts are the easiest to work with. You become an observer of your thoughts, and you just say, I know this is not really working for me. It's not really serving me. I acknowledge it. I acknowledge my thought, but I'm choosing to let go. And just breathe out and do the tapping point. So the best part is the tangible, the number, right at the beginning, the setup statement is very important. So when we identify, even though I'm feeling this issue, the intensity is this on scale of 10, and I'm feeling it wherever in my body. Once you've got these three things, right, the location, then after doing tapping, you will know the number is going down. So ideally bring it to 0 or 1. So then that issue won't matter anymore. It won't get in your way of.
Standard time or the number of tapping.
So immediate some relief, 5 minutes. So otherwise 15 minutes ideally. 3 rounds, and then, so of course the advanced technique has more points like gamut point, but EFT is such a forgiving technique. I really encourage everybody to use it because it's just 8 points. Though there are many advanced methods, there's so much research that's been done, and you can achieve a lot more with EFT. But it's the ease of doing it. It's very forgiving. You can use 1 finger, 2 finger. You don't really have to use a hard tap. You can just do a gentle tap. You can use 4 fingers, 2 fingers, both hands. You cannot go wrong with it. It complements, like you said, CBT, right? It complements the traditional psychology very well. So.
And when I first got exposure, it was at Escorts Hospital. Actually, there was an event like this, maybe around 15 to 20 years down the lane. At that time, in that technique, they didn't go by the tapping. They went by rotating. Like they said, rotate it. Like it was rotating.
So any sort of pressure, the points remain the same.
Yeah, then it evolved, and over years now.
Yes, over years, yes.
Now it's
there's a lot of work being done on it all the time. So it's very dynamic. Every few years there are more changes to it. Yeah. 5 minutes, sir? Actually, done. We can just finish it. Okay. So I've already covered this. Anxiety relief, post-traumatic stress treatment. It was studied during the wartime, the American-Vietnam War. So EFT was used a lot, and it was documented very well that it works very good for post-traumatic stress disorder. Cancer care support, I have worked with a patient in ICU. People in ICU are dealing with fear of death because there's death all around and stuff. So I took permission from the cardiac doctor, and I went and used to do EFT at 10 o'clock. So that particular patient,
experience less ICU psychosis and ICU paranoia. Rapid relief, like I said, it works really fast in just a couple of minutes. 43% cortisol reduction. So it works. Enhances immune function markers, improves pain, insomnia, autoimmune symptoms, addresses mental and physical health together. Self-empowerment, portable technique, integrates easily with conventional, traditional professional therapies. It's safe, it has no side effects, no cost. Growing acceptance, 10 million users across the world. So unlocking emotional freedom for lasting well-being. The body remembers what the mind tries to ignore. So the body normally keeps the score, unprocessed emotions are locked up, and unlocking the emotion for freedom for lasting well-being, sustainable results, and hopefully we giving out some vouchers for some of you to come and experience it with me.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you everybody. Thank you very much. Thank you.